Hi, Frau Parrot here. Hallo, wie geht's? So I just said, hi, how are you doing? Hallo, wie geht's? Today I'm going to try to get you started for your first day on your German 1 Canvas. Okay, so here we go. As you see, I'm on your home page for German. Here you've got your Clever login, which you're already here, so you've already used that. Your passport, this is your textbook, how you're going to get to your textbook, your workbook exercises, and the things that we do with your textbook online. Obviously, tech support. If you need anything at the Willis ISD website, that's this one. And here's your classroom resources. So let's look at that one real quick. Classroom resources. Okay, this is where you need to go as soon as you can to Deutsch Aktuell Level 1. You need to go to this website, click on that website, and if you are in first period of German 1, you're going to use this code right here. And if you are in third period, use this code right here. Now, some of you I have seen are sort of maybe possibly thinking you might be in either one. So pick one and I'll figure it out later, okay? But if you know you're in third period, this is your code right here. Okay? Obviously, missing class right now is, we're not going to worry about that. Once you sign in to Passport, you're going to make yourself a password. I'd like you to remember that password, please. But if you forget, let me know. Send me an email, and I will be able to change it for you. I will change it to your, right here. I will delete the other one, and I will reset your password to your first name, all lowercase. Okay, so just sign back in, use your first name lowercase, and then once you get in, change your password to something you will remember. And notice here also, top 4 best resources for language learning. There are so many more. You can explore the internet and find other ways, but these are my top 6 favorite ones. These games right here are fun. Deutsche Welle has lots of information for you to take. It's called German training, and you're going to learn a lot through that too. The Goethe Institute is really good if you're really into exploring and travel. And the Duolingo. If you haven't heard of Duolingo yet, I'm surprised because lots of people use Duolingo. Nice, easy way of learning the language word by word. Okay, so let's go back to our home. And I would like you to look at the announcements. Make sure you're looking through that. This is something that's very important for you to know. Decoding grade titles. I have a special way of remembering how, what worksheet you've done, and when I put them in the grade book, this is what they might look like. Okay, just these letters here. So this tells you, what does the K5 mean? K for Kapitel is chapter, so the chapter and the number, and then the LA or the LB have to do with lecture A. Section 1 of every chapter has 2 sections, Lection A, Lection B. Okay, so it's either the first section or the second section. And I should have put that on there, but it looks like I missed that portion. Oh, there we go, Lection B. Okay, so workbook, obviously Q for quiz, LA listening activity, CA, communicative activity. That's when you're going to try to do a speaking section with a partner. When you have your test, that's called a Prüfung, a test. So it'd be P for the Prüfung, K for the Kapitel, the chapter, and then the number. Okay, so every one of your tests will start with P, K, and a number. And then there are 3 TEKs that I really focus on in language learning, because the TEKs 1A deal with speaking and simple use of the language. 1B are standards dealing with listening, so that'll be your first section. And then C are standards that deal with a more difficult manipulation of the language. So that's like fill in the blank. I'm sorry, not fill in the blank, but short answers, where you have to really turn the language into something that's beneficial for you, not just writing a vocabulary word on a line. Okay, so that's how I grade. So that's there. It's also on my teacher webpage. And let's look at some of this initial information. Very important. Okay, so if you're new to Canvas, make sure that you're clicking on things, learning what you're looking at. Here's again your textbook link to get you to your textbook. Here again are your class codes if you're in German 1. This will be your code for signing in to the Passport. And German third period, here's your pass. Okay. Attendance is going to be kind of weird to start off with. We're going to figure it out, and just to understand that every day that you're supposed to be online working on your German, I'm going to know that you were logged in, whether it was on Canvas or even if you skipped Canvas and went straight to your Passport link for your textbook. I know, I can see when you've logged in. My tutoring times, if you watch my video that my daughter helped me with, that was real sweet of her. Mondays from 1:30 to 2, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays 1 to 2. And here's your Meet. Yes, your Meet link. Okay, so that's the Meet link to go to, and hopefully I will be there. Okay, so if you go to your module, I'm going to go back to Home and go to Student View. Okay, so we're going to go to Assignments. That's the best way to do it. And there's nothing there because... Okay, I'm back. I had to try to figure out how I needed to find it. I don't always use Student View. So the first assignment that's going to be open for you today is what is your why? Okay, I would like to know why you chose German. You had your other choice of Spanish, and probably a lot of your friends, and you probably know some people that speak Spanish. So it would actually be very convenient to have all these Spanish people around you, Spanish-speaking people, that you would be able to converse with and really make your language grow. So I'm curious as to why you chose German. So your why, what's your motivation? My motivation for learning German was because my husband and I had just moved to Germany, and I was pregnant with our first child, and I wanted to be able to know the culture and the people at a higher level. To really get deep into an understanding of what made them tick, why they did what they did. So we got there on a Friday, and that afternoon we went to the main Kaserne, the section of the Army base, and I found the University of Maryland Eastern Division, and that next Monday they were starting up with a new German 101, and I said, sign me up. So got right into it. I took German 101, and then I had another little class to take, and after that, and was able to basically have my baby in German within, that was April, May, June. Within 2 months, I had learned enough and sort of memorized a lot of phrases that I knew I would need, and repeated them over and over and over until they became a part of my toolbox that I have written to you about, and I could pull them out when I needed them. Okay, so that was my why. I wanted to be able to go to this country and be a part of it. Okay, not just be, some American that just goes there and just, personally, I kind of say, like, act dumb, like I don't know it, because I like to know. I'm that kind of person. Okay, so you are going to look through this, read through all of this. I have right here If you have a computer like my Chromebook, I don't know how to make the umlauts, the little 2 dots over the A's, O's, or U's. So just put an E right after the A, O, or U, and that's the same thing. Okay? So, where is it? Okay, I had to reload my page because it said it was expired. I reloaded. So let's go to your why. Click on that link. How much German do you already know? All right, if you saw at the top, it said it wasn't going to load it, so I went up to the link up there and it loaded up. So how much German do you already know? All right, so on this first section here, I want you to write your last name. Then I want you to write your first name. In a second section, it's going to take it to an Excel sheet for me to look at. And right here in number 3, you're going to type in all the words or phrases you already know. This is coming from your head, please. Don't look them up. Don't Google them. Don't open up a book that you've got lying around and just start throwing in a bunch of words. I'm not asking you to do this to impress me so much as what do you know? What have you heard? Do you have family that's German that have spoken a few words? Have you seen some movies with German in them? And I've heard this before. I don't know necessarily what it means, but I know this phrase. Okay, so put all that down right here. Okay, then I want you to tell me, why did you choose to learn German instead of Spanish? Okay, just curious, because German's more difficult to learn than Spanish. Briefly, there are 5 levels of languages as far as the military is concerned. Your very basic languages that kind of are in your own language, but just a different way of speaking them. And then those are 1s. 2s are your Romance languages like Spanish and French and Italian. 3 is German and other of those Germanic languages. Those are all 3s. They're a little bit more difficult because you don't speak the same way as English. Your 4s are other languages like Korean and Vietnamese and languages like that are basic. They're simple to learn once you learn to decode them. And that's kind of what you have to do with those first. I've learned Korean before, and it's much more difficult than German. But it's not the most difficult. The most difficult languages in the world, there's just a few of them, are Russian, Mandarin Chinese, Farsi, and English. They're the most difficult to learn. Lots of different reasons, but can save those for later. You can look them up yourself. German's a 3, however. So I would like you to learn to write down for me why you chose German instead of Spanish. Okay, and then what are you expecting to learn this year? What are you most interested in learning about the German-speaking culture? Something that you know about that you might like to learn a little more? I can always add those into my lessons. And then what type of learner are you? I would like you to check more than one. You can check all of them if you can learn in all the different ways. But are you a visual learner? Somebody that you like videos and pictures and graphs and art. Those are the kind of things that really pull you in. Auditory. Do you hear something once and never forget it? Do you learn by music? Those kinds of things. Your kinesthetic learners, they're the ones that have to do head, shoulders, knees, and toes because you're moving to help you remember all the parts. Things that get your hands moving and up and down, walking around the room and looking at vocabulary words. Is that a good way for you to learn? Or a tactile learner. A lot of people that are tactile can write things or show themselves by moving and touching things. Like when you're doing science and you're doing a lab, you're touching the items. And, got paper in your hands, those kinds of things. Are you a tactile learner? So again, you can choose all 4. You can choose 1. But I would like to know that about you. This is due today, or your first day of German, so please make sure you get this done and signed in. This is how I'm going to make sure that you were here today. Okay? Sorry about the braces, but they won't be here for long. Okay? So it was great to meet you. Tschüss und auf Wiedersehen.